everyone, Maria Mitchell here, bringing you another face painting class. This one's completely different. I've been asked a few times lately on how to start a face painting business successfully and getting phone calls and face painting bookings for kids' parties or events. Now, I'm no marketing guru, but there are certain things that I adopted early on when I decided to start my face painting business, which have helped me a ton. So I would like to share those tips with you, and hopefully they help you as well. So the reason that you're probably clicked on this video is because you've face painted before and you're a beginner and you're quite enthused with face painting, and you're thinking, well, hang on, I can make a profitable business out of this. And let me tell you, you can make a profitable business from face painting. It all depends on obviously your pay rate, which you determine yourself, and what sort of gigs that you choose to take. So for myself personally, I mainly do kids' parties. I very rarely do festivals or community events where I face paint for a limited amount of people that are standing in a line, like say markets or festivals. But with those, you could also make a good amount of money because you're also, people are paying per face, not per hour. So unless the company that wants you there is paying you a per hour rate. So basically it's up to you to decide, do I want to just do kids parties, or do I just want to do community events, or do I want to do both? So number one, the very most important thing for starting your own face painting business is that you must love what you do. Passion for what you do makes you really love going to work, and you're enthused. Hey, who doesn't love to do what they love? So if you're getting paid for it, it's an absolute bonus. It makes life so much more pleasant, and you're actually practicing what you really love, is painting, being creative, and also interacting with people. So we also have to, as face painters, love interacting with people and kids, having a bubbly side, because you're also been invited to this event, and your personality should also shine through and make it memorable for that child that's being face painted. For example, I normally ask a kid, hey, what's your favorite thing to do? What's your name? Do you love riding your bike, your scooter? What's your favorite movie? What's your favorite song? It just breaks the ice, and as you're face painting, you are getting to know the child, and you're building a rapport as well. Because you've got to remember as well, if you're doing kids' parties, if this kid really connects with you, they'll want you at their next birthday party. So I can't stress enough how important it is to love what you do. And no doubt you do love face painting because you're watching this video and you want to learn how to make your passion your job. Number two is you need to figure out whether, are you going to be a local business? What's your radius? So what's the what's the area in which you will cover? So in Sydney, I tend to stick to a place called the Northern Beaches of Sydney, only because it's a little bit away from the main city of Sydney, and it takes me a fair amount of time to get from, say, Palm Beach, which is the northern side of the Northern Beaches, right down to, say, Mossman, which is the next sort of lower North Shore area. So I don't want to be wasting too much time in between jobs on a Saturday or on a Sunday, where I'm running from job to job and I'm wasting time in the car or in traffic waiting to get to my next job. I want to use the time wisely in getting to the next job quickly and then starting to earn your next pay. So work out what area you want to focus on and make that clear in all of your marketing material, like your website, your Facebook page, or your social media pages as well. And it's good to make it clear, because you don't want people wasting their time ringing you if, say, where they've seen your advertisement, it just says face painter. It doesn't say what area you cover. And also, once you've figured it out, will you be local? Will you, it all depends on what city you live in, how big your city is, if you just want to do a portion of that city. And then once you've determined what your area is, I would recommend to suss out what other face painters are in your area. And the reason being, I'm not advising this to go and spy on them and have a look at what they do. The best thing to do is give them a call, and generally face painters are quite lovely people. They're arty and they're outgoing and they're doing something different as a job. So I would recommend to give a local face painter a call, suss it out and say, hey, look, I'm in your area. I'm in the area. I really want to start my own face painting business. I don't want to be competing with you, but I'd just like to talk to you about what prices you charge, because I don't want to be too competitive and sort of undercut you. So talk to them about, how much they charge, and then that way there's no animosity between the local face painters in your area that you're charging cheaper and you're getting all the work. But at the end of the day, people will book you again if they do create that rapport with you and they do like your work. You'll find if you generally just reach out to other face painters in your area, they'll be cool about it, as long as you state at the beginning, look, I don't want to compete with you, I'm just wanting to get out there. And obviously there's enough work for a lot of face painters in an area. Kids' parties are so lucrative these days in terms of people go all out, and people always need a face painter for kids' parties. So there's always enough business to go around. So be friendly with other face painters, and it's nice to have that community where you're all doing the same thing that you love and you all support each other. What normally happens, for example, in my area where I live, there is a beautiful group of face painters, and we all keep in touch through a Facebook group. And once, say, if I get an inquiry, I'll contact another face painter if I can't do the job, and I'll say, look, are you free? Here's this person, and you hook them up. It's good to keep that community amongst face painters and help each other out, give each other work. When you can't do a job, someone else can. Don't try to smuggle all the work to yourself. There's not enough hours for that, and there's plenty of work to go around out there. Number 3, the main thing that I would suggest is to keep your main source of income while you are starting your face painting business. So I was working for a company prior to what I do, and I had to keep working there. I basically did my logo, my website, had everything up and running, was doing parties, taking calls, inquiries, while I still had my full-time job. And, I'd get back to people sort of on my lunch break, and then I'd call them back and organise a party. I now have an online booking system which makes it so much easier, which you too can get. I'll give you links of what I've done for my website. But it is so important to keep your day job at the beginning, to keep that main source of funding for your business at the beginning. Because to start off with, it is quite expensive. So you've got to, I would assume that you already have a face painting kit because you're watching this video. And so face painting kit's quite expensive. All of your brushes, your sponges, your glitters, all of those things, they do cost money to pay for your website, any branded clothing. So if you decide to wear a t-shirt with your logo on it, you'll need to fund that. Any costumes that you also wish to offer. So some face painters also offer Cinderella themes, Elsa themes, Moana themes. So, all these things add up. If you're super enthused and you want to go and make this happen, don't go out there and, put your resignation letter in and quit your job and start your face painting business. That is a big no-no. You need to fund yourself first to get yourself going, getting those regular bookings, getting that routine going where you're getting enough income coming in until you can say, well, you know what? The income that's coming in from the face painting is pretty much on par with the money that I'm making working for this guy over here. So, yeah. It's a no-brainer. Number 4, super important, is be clear on what services you'll offer. I know that sounds silly, but it's good to have a good vision as to what you're going to offer. So will you offer face painting and balloon twisting for X amount of dollars per hour? Will you offer different packages? So if you head over to my my website sillycheeks.com.au, you'll see that I've got different prices and packaging page. So there's a package that just offers face painting, and that includes face painting and balloon twisting, and that's a certain rate per hour. Be clear on how much you are charging. Number 2 is say face painting and games. So this is a popular one for kids parties where I face paint X amount of kids and then we do a game. Paint X amount of kids, we do a game. I need a numbering system to do this, to keep track of who's been painted. So I just write little numbers on their hands so that everyone gets painted, and also so I know where I'm at as well. Then you could also offer a package of, say a princess face painter, and you come dressed as Cinderella or Moana or whoever it may be. LOL, any of those themes are popular with kids. Look up what's popular with kids and see if you can do a theme and get an outfit with, flowers or rainbows or whatever it may be. Packages seem to really do well when you offer different packages because it gives people choice. And, you're not just offering face painting and they don't have to ring you and ask you, does that include this? Do you get dressed up? Do you do this? So make it all clear on your website. The less questions people ask, the better it is for them. Because when you're booking something or booking someone, say for a service, you don't want to have to call and then you miss their call and you're playing phone tag, phone tennis. So you want to know the information now. You don't want to have to wait for a phone call back for them to tell you, and then you're probably sussing out other services in the area as well that you're weighing out. So make sure that you make it very specific and very clear on your website, the packages you offer. It may just be face painting and balloon twisting. That's fine. Be clear on price and be clear on what you offer. Okay, on to websites and marketing. So number 5, very important, is get a website. You must be online. Everybody is Googling for something these days. So if you don't have the funds to fund a proper website that a web person will build for you, I suggest get a free website. They're free and you can build them yourself. A lot of them have these things called WYSIWYGs, meaning what you see is what you get. And you can actually build the site on the screen, which is great, makes it so easy for everyone. Wix does free websites. If you go to Google and Google free websites, you'll know who offers free websites in your country, in your area, and then you can start getting all of your information online. When you have that website online, there's a lot of search engine optimization that needs to go into it. If you're building it yourself, if you're paying for someone to make your website, they will know all about that and they will advise you how much extra for search engine optimization. What that means, it just means that it makes your website come up when people search for face painting Adelaide or face painting Sydney or face painting Brisbane. You want to optimize your site, and the way we do that is we need to make sure that our page titles match all of the stuff that we're writing on our website and throwing some keywords. Keywords meaning face painter, your area. So face painter, Mine is Face Painter Northern Beaches. So I've got that around my website a few times. So Google has crawled my site and knows, hey, face painter, when people are Googling Face Painter Northern Beaches, this is her keyword, this is what she offers. So I'm going to marry that up for when people are Googling. It does take time to come up to the first page of Google, even the second page of Google. You've got to really be patient with it. Look up SEO tips on Google. You'll come up, there's plenty of articles out there on what you can do with your every website page in order to make it Google friendly. Another massive key for your search engine optimization is making sure that you're consistent in posting content on your website regularly. So make a schedule, say every week or every 2 weeks, post an article, a blog post on your website about the parties that you did, and throw in some of those keywords in those posts, those blog posts, so that Google gets more familiar, and the more blog posts that you post that are relevant to face painting, whatever your area is, then Google will recognize you as that source. You may even post pictures. Make sure that if you put pictures up on your website yourself, there is a section when you're doing a free website, they do ask for an ALT, an alt tag or a name, and always make that a keyword, okay? Keyword meaning what people normally would search to land on your article. You don't want to drive people into your article if they're not searching for face painters. So keep it specific to face painting and your area, and Google will reward you. I'll put some links down below on some resources where you can read on search engine optimization and how to get better at it, and all the little tips and tricks that you need to know if you're doing your free websites. Number 6, super important, go onto Google Maps and list your local business online. So normally when you Google something, if there's a local business that has one of those keywords in their title, you will see it as a Google Maps listing. So this is my particular one, and there's my address on the map, and it's listed as a local business. That's what you want to come up, because there's actually a picture there of me in my rainbow outfit, and you're visible before any other business that's just listed as normal titles here on a Google search. So make sure you head on over. So it's Google Places, or why don't you Google how to place a listing on Google Maps, and you'll see all the instructions. I'll put some links down below for you to check out. And number 7, massive one, social media. Make sure you're on Instagram, that you're posting anything that you do. Us face painters like to doodle on our hands, our arms, our legs in the summertime. It's freezing in Sydney right now, so there is no way I'm wearing shorts to face paint my legs to practice. So even if you come up with something in your spare time and it looks pretty cool, take a photo of it, Instagram it. Any work that you do on the job or for free, take a photo of it, pop it on your Instagram page or your Facebook page or your Twitter or your Pinterest, any of that. Just post it up on there, because people want to see your work. People want to see what they're paying for. Having said that, when we start our own business, obviously you don't have a ton of photos that you can show to people as your work, because you obviously haven't done many parties. And let me also mention as a disclaimer, now in Australia anyway, you need written permission to post a photo of a child on social media. So just be careful with that. Always ask the mums if they're cool with that or not. I tend to just avoid it. I just take photos of my face painting basis on myself. And most of the time on a job, you're too busy to take photos anyway. So always make sure to get the consent of the parents before you're posting photos of children being painted on social media. So you might have a neighbor who has kids, or you might have someone across the road who has kids, or some family members, or even just a friend. Face paint your friends. Put a post out on your Facebook profile or Instagram. Put a post out asking friends if they wouldn't mind donating their face for your portfolio. Usually people are more than happy to do that. And then do some face painting examples and put them on your website. Remember to alt tag them, alt tag your images, put names on your images for Google's sake, and most importantly, share them on social media. And this is how you'll start to get a portfolio going and just images out there showing people that, hey, this is what I do. I love doing this. Here are all my face painting faces. If you want to book me, you can check it all out. Number 8, very important, make it very easy for people to book you. Now, usually if there's a few obstacles that someone has to get to book you, people generally just give up and go for the next person. And if it's easy, then they'll book them. People generally are very time poor, so you don't want to make it too hard for people to book you. So if it means that you have an online booking system, but someone calls you, if you say, oh, well, if you pop on over to my website and book me, then they'll probably go, well, I can book you now, kind of thing. So make it easy for people to book you. Keep a diary. If that's how you work, you could use your calendar as a booking system. I'll put the links down below of what I use. I use a booking system through WordPress. So my website is driven by WordPress. You can get a free WordPress site, but I'm not sure if that gives you the functionality to add plugins, etc. And if it does, then you can add that functionality. So that makes it very easy for people to book online. There's a button there, it says book online. They just enter all the details, bang, they put a deposit through, and it's all ready to go, and we're set to party. My last tip, number 8, is be patient. Be patient with it. While you have your current job and you're earning money and you're also working on the side, that can be a bit of a hard slog at first. So I recall, having a full week at work, and then having to work on the weekend. So I normally do about, say, 2 to 3 face painting parties in a day. So Saturday and Sunday, and my rate is $100 an hour. So if you do the math, the more parties you do on the weekend, you can really make yourself a fair bit of money. It's a very good, viable business. I would totally recommend it to anyone that's artistic and is wanting to get into it. But you do need to put in the hard work at first to gain the reviews. After every party, ask them to go on your Facebook page and give you a review. Mostly people are happy to do that if they're happy with your service. You're going to build momentum. You're going to build your portfolio online and your presence, and say, after it took me 6 months, after 6 months, I was able to leave my job and do this full time. But it was because I took every single job that was offered. I would even work for a fraction cheaper to gain that experience. Sometimes it's good to even sort of approach a business that's having an open or a festival or a fete and say, look, I'd like to volunteer to face paint. So, you can do free gigs here and there to build up your portfolio, build up those pictures, build up people's reviews online about you, and that will really help you and really let you progress in terms of getting phone calls and people trusting that you're a legit business and that you're recommended. So it's very important to have word of mouth through online. So being patient and really persevering really pays off. Yeah, at first it's hard to, keep your day job and do this over the weekends. Does take a lot of energy. So just make sure, you're driven by what you love. So just see the light at the end of the tunnel. If you could be doing this, as a main source of income, that's great. You may not want it to be your main source of income. You may want to just go part-time from your other job and work at your other job 2 days a week and work 2 days a week on the weekend, and you'll be making just as much money as if you would be working 5 days a week at your other job. So see what it is, be clear on what your goals are, on what you're wanting to achieve out of all this, but have fun with it and be patient with it. It's a fun career, if we can call it career. It's a fun job. It's a fun business to have. And you're dealing with mums and, you're dealing with children who are generally always chirpy, at parties, which is great. So you're always meeting them when they're at their best. It's an absolute joy to do this job. I love it. I am so passionate about it. And I can't see myself doing anything different. So I really hope that these tips have given you some insight. As I said, I'll put some links down below on any resources, like doing all your free websites, your SEO, your Google Place listing, etc. Hopefully that will help you in setting all of those things up. It's a bit daunting at first. Be patient with it. Allow yourself some time and don't be too much of a critic. We all start from here and we get up to where we get to. So allow yourself time to do this and not to rush into things too much. And say 6 months down the track, if you find that what you have done free in order to get your business up and running in terms of marketing wise, you might need to pay a person to work on your Google SEO. There's lots of tools that we can use. So there's Upwork. I think it's Fiverr or something. It's nothing over $5. Anyway, I'm not sure if that's still running. But I know that there is a website called Upwork where you have people from overseas working everywhere anyway, and they tell you how much they would charge you to do that specific work to your website. And it's generally quite reasonable price-wise. So I encourage you to head on over to Upwork or any of those servicing websites to help you with your SEO if you're not quite getting up there on the page of Google. Anyway, I think I've said enough. Please let me know if you have any questions about any of the things that I've discussed today. Make sure you comment down below. And as I said before, I'm no marketing guru. I'm just sharing with you everything that I did to start up my face painting business. And I really, really hope it helps you out. And I'd love to know how you're going too. Let me know of your progress. And as always, if there's anything else that you need to know about face painting or face painting anything, let me know in the comments below and I'll do my best to bring out a video just for you. Make sure you follow me on the links below so we don't miss each other next time. Until next time, guys, happy face painting.